So, good evening, all of you, and such a beautiful evening here in Mumbai. And I just want to connect to you today on day 9 of my mastery program, that is Women Empowerment Mastery Program, right? So, today I'm going to take to you to one important topic, and that important topic is about interpersonal skills, right? So many people, join in, and I see, yeah, yes, a lot of enthusiasm in audience. Yes, so it's good that so many women friends they are joining here now for this kind of session, and that also on a working day. So I'm so happy that you all are here, and I welcome each one of you for this particular session, which is about interpersonal skills and how they can empower all of us, all women here, right? So here, without any delay, I'm now starting my session, and I'm sure that you will get in touch with me at the end of the session with the number, with the name, and with your contact number, email ID, if it is possible. So please put that in your chat box, and I will get back to you. So because there are so many queries coming into me, and I'm so excited, and I'm feeling so blessed that I'm able to support to so many of you. So it's really a good energy which is getting here every day, and so happy and so excited that all of you are getting a lot of learnings from these sessions. So without much further delay, I'm now starting my session. So yeah, so just welcoming few of the participants. Hi Lakshmi, yeah, hi Priya, and hi yeah, hi Avantika. This is so nice to see you here, and I welcome you all for this, and let's begin with the session on interpersonal skills. Yeah. So without anything, let's go to the topic. Now, what are interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills, I think everyone here knows what it is about, right? So I don't have to really explain what it is, right? So yeah, right, absolutely. Yes, and my audience is really very clever. Yeah, so I'm so happy. Yeah, I'm very, very happy that you all know now, right? So, correct. As you said, Sandhya, this is really beautiful, isn't it? Because we women, we know a lot of things, and we are the best at interpersonal skills because we have so many roles to play in our daily life, daily, right? So, when we are actually doing a lot of stuff right here. Uh, so I'm so sorry that there was some disturbance which I saw, and I got disconnected, I guess. So interpersonal skills are currently so much important in our day-to-day life, as well as the life which we spend most of our working hours we spend at our workplace, and also in our businesses, right? So this is very, very essential that we become part of a program or a part of a mastery, where we can learn these interpersonal skills and we can excel in all areas of life, right? So if I go back to the definition part of interpersonal skills, there are so many definitions which are coming from psychologists. Some are coming from the corporate organizations. Some are like they are really defined in terms of lot of other skills, which are a basket of skills which are now considered as interpersonal skills. So they can also include verbal or non-verbal communication, the ability to handle conflict, teamwork, empathy, listening, and also one important aspect, that is positive attitude, right? So nowadays interpersonal skills are it is such a big basket of skills, and we really need, we all of us, if you want to succeed in all areas of life, we really need to focus on interpersonal skills. Now they are often referred to as people skills, social skills, because these are the skills which are of social intelligence. These are the skills of people who are around us, because you will find lot of people around us every day, and that is where these interpersonal skills, they play very important role when we interact with each other at on one, with in our relationships, in our close relationships with friends, or with, for that matter, with our colleagues, team managers, team functional heads, or for that matter into corporate worlds, and with our vendors, suppliers, so many, right? So they involve reading the signals that others send when we are communicating, or when we are doing certain things. We, so they give out the signals, so that we interpret them accurately in order to give the effective, effective responses, right? So individuals show that their interpersonal relationships, or interpersonal personal skills, for that matter, they all the time, they do this by interacting with each other. So they exhibit their interpersonal skills by the way they listen, by the way they act, by the way they respond, by the way they show with their body language. So many things, right? So there are a lot of comments in the inbox. And yes, right, Pritam, you are right, because this is a social skill, right? And when we are with people, we are people, right? So we are part of people, so we cannot actually separate out us from the people who are around us. So obviously it is going to be a social skill, right? Effective communication, now for that matter, there are so many ways of handling the communication, which I'm going to now take you through so many things now in the coming minutes. So effective communication, strategic thinking, creative problem solving, and power of persuasion, power of negotiation, these are all the examples of important interpersonal skills, right? So these are the areas which enhance the way people work together. And be it in business, be it at workplace, entrepreneur ventures, anywhere, right? So some of the interpersonal skills which I want to define here, or I want to put up to the group, is about um, problem solving, right? This is one of communication. Unless and until we communicate with each other effectively, we cannot really come to any kind of action or thought or anything, right? So conflict resolution, when people interact with each other, when there are so many things happening around us, so many technology driven things are happening, so many innovations in the science area happening, we there is bound to have so many conflicts. There will be lot of challenges which will come across, and it is this skill, the conflict resolution, the problem solving, these skills, they play very important role in areas of any kind of new thing, when we actually try together as a team, right, at workplace as well as in businesses. Now, professional ethics, this is also one of the important interpersonal skills, how we interact professionally, what are the ethical standards which we follow, and how we actually communicate via emails or through lot of, nowadays WhatsApp or Instagram, they are also considered as official media, or official or professional media for, interacting with each other. Then leadership, it is also one of the important interpersonal skill. Empathy, mediation, how you mediate when there is a conflict, how you negotiate, how you listen with patience, and how you are responsible, how you can influence people in the areas at your workplace or in your businesses, or to get that business deal cracked. Everything is all about interpersonal skills, right? Persuasions, relationship building, teamwork, collaboration, so many. Yeah, I agree, Smita. Yeah, positive attitude. This is one of the important interpersonal skill which all of us can develop. Right, self motivation. It is another thing. Emotional intelligence, nowadays, so much importance is given to the buzzword emotional intelligence, because people at workplace, people into businesses, people who are entrepreneurs, they need to have emotional intelligence if they really want to succeed in their areas, right? So another one is the honesty. This is also one of the interpersonal skill which is mentioned in some of the literatures, right? So ability to work under pressure, adaptability, dependability. So all these, creativity for that matter, some people are quoting this also, that this is one of the important social skill. And very true, because I go with this, right? Because these are the skills which excel you in all areas of life. They open your horizons, they broaden your horizons. And when you are a part of any organization, any business venture, or in your personal relationships, like even if that means interacting with your parents, siblings, with your children, as a brother, as a sister, or there are so many relations in our life. If our interpersonal skills are not good, you can imagine what kind of havoc it can create in this world, right? So let us make this world a little better place to live with our interpersonal skills, right? So let's begin with some benefits. Yeah. So at a work or any family occasion, we need to communicate and interact with so many people. At workplace, with suppliers, buyers, project departments, managers, teams, right? You are right, Soumya. Colleagues, relatives, and wherever. But a weak interaction, right? A weak interaction can create a negative impression, and it might spoil the relations. Let it be business relations, your business partner, your relation with the business partner, with vendors, with whom you interact in your day-to-day business activities, or and hence, these interpersonal skills are very much essential to learn and develop. One has to take conscious effort to actually learn about interpersonal skills. I am sure there are so many of us who are not aware what are these interpersonal skills. They might be applying some of them in their real life, but it is always very much essential that we learn them, we understand what are those interpersonal skills. We understand, and during the process we really understand where we are weak in which of these areas, which of these skills, and how we can really develop for our own growth, as well as the organization in which we are working, or the business we want to flourish, right? So now I'm going to define again this in a deep way. Now inter is what? Yeah, inter and personal. So these are created from two words that means actually communicating with each other. Yeah. So, interpersonal skills are required for effective interpersonal communication, because that is where we interact with the outside world, we interact with the people around, we interact with so many clients, we interact with so we can interact internationally, globally, we interact. Those who are into the global roles, global leadership role, they have to interact with the global guys. There could be a difference in the culture, in understanding, in language, in behavior, in actions. Still, we have to have this as communication as one of the very key area to build our interpersonal relations, right? So the communication can be online, it can be face to face, or yeah, absolutely, Amit. Yeah, you're right. So it can be a video conference. It can be, so can anyone, yeah, put some of the the communication channels which are available to us, right? Communication areas which are available to us. So absolutely, video conferencing, or mobile or Zoom calls, for that matter, Instagram, or for that matter, there are so many ways where we do written communication, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, so many areas, right? So we can communicate using any communication, in short. So you are right, Bharti, you are right. So it can be a verbal communication, it can be non-verbal, it can be written, it can be visual, anything, right? So it explains the strategy and behavior of a person to interact nicely with others, right? Isn't it? Yeah, 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 Chetna, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So, yeah, she said, yeah, of course, of course. These skills are very much essential, right? So, these skills are not only bounded to our professional workplace, but also in our normal personal relations, right? So you girls, you ladies, you all know what is the importance of who are the best people, on this earth, who can really understand the importance of interpersonal communication, right? We women, we are the vibrant energy in our homes, right? Whenever we are around, people do tend to talk to us, and we really make the the conversation so meaningful, fruitful, and at the same time so cheerful, with a lot of fun and humor added to it, right? So just imagine yourself when you are with your friends, you're so vibrant, you're full of life, and you keep on sharing so much with each other. Imagine yourself with your spouse and spending so many beautiful moments with your spouse, and then actually, that conversation is the lifeline, sometimes when you really want to go back and recollect those beautiful moments of communication or conversation, right? So when you speak with your child, you speak with so much empathy, right? So these are the areas wherein we women, we are blessed to have these communication skills with us, and we use it so beautifully with everybody around, right? So interpersonal skills are essential, whether we are a manager, we are an employee, we are a colleague, we are a teammate, or we are into looking for a work, we are searching for a job, we are searching for an assignment, we are traveling anywhere, right? So such skills are also known as soft skills, right? That determine how well a person can communicate, behave, and relate to others. So very important statement which I am making here, that these are also nowadays known as soft skills, because that is how person is perceived based on the behavior, based on his communication or her communication, or the way they relate to others, right? Girls, so all get set, go for understanding some of the what are the advantages which we can have if we have these skills in our soul, right? So let's begin. Yeah, this is because this is a very essential. Yeah, absolutely, Ranjita, because it is very essential to maintain a healthy relationship with people in the workplace, with the people you love, with the people you don't love, right? With the people whom you want to meet as clients, business partners. So everywhere, it is not only, it doesn't maintain any uh, uh, good kind of communication that creates a comfortable environment for us to work. And that is why it is said that a person with excellent interpersonal skill might be able to yeah, so many. Yeah, yeah, you can put your answers. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Can negotiate easily. Yes, you can be more likable. Yes, Sangeeta, you are saying right. Yeah, yeah. Shweta, yes, you're right. It can easily read facial expressions. That person is able to decode body language, because then that becomes very essential when the person is not actually using verbal kind of any communication or conversation with you. A person with excellent interpersonal skills can be more charming. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, this is such an important point, Amol, that yes, we can be more charming. A person can be more charming if he has good interpersonal skills, and he will be able to have good affinity with others. So the affinity, the approachability is so much when you deal with a person who has excellent interpersonal skills. So this person is able to be socially positive and confident. Why? Because he has mastered all these skills, by being active socially, interacting without expressing much, being resilient, and then being confident also, right? So this person is also able to have patience according to the situation, as I said, resilient. Yeah, so this person is able to be more responsible, so we can quickly improve all these interpersonal communication skills. An organization or company, if you see around, in the multinationals or in the corporate world, if you see, always they always seek candidates that can work collaboratively with each other, right? So because that is where the interpersonal skills play a very important role. It helps us to work effectively with other members of different teams, and that is why the people who are having these skills, interpersonal skills, they are preferred as candidate. They are the best choice to hire, right? Now let's go back to the area where in today's world we all know that there are so many social platforms which are available, digital platforms which are available, wherein we have to communicate, we observe how people are behaving on social media, or how they are putting their blogs, or how they are developing their websites, or how they are effectively using the websites for for their growth, for the business growth. So all these are the channels of communication through which any business, any entrepreneur, any organization, any big company, they actually put lot of stuff on these medias, and they effectively communicate, and they can reach to masses with this kind of platforms. So understand the impact of these platforms on us. When we have to put a comment on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter for that matter, or on LinkedIn, we really have to be very, very choosy with our words, and we have to really give honestly so many of the feedbacks. So in that case, interpersonal skills, a person who is having a good interpersonal skill knows how to do this, right? So now coming back to the types of what are these new age interpersonal skills, especially when we are interacting, or COVID has taught us that we really interact with, we really use the e-platform, the digital platform, so effectively during the COVID phase, that we've worked, almost all of us, right? All of us, we worked so much on this platform, Zoom calls, or Google Meets, or so many, we use all these platforms for even doing our work, for our earnings during the COVID period. So we know that this is the digital world today, and we have to really be very effective in our verbal communication as well as non-verbal communication, written communication, any area, right? So let's talk about effective verbal communication. So effective verbal communication, it encompasses good relations at the workplace, at home. So how many of you agree to this? Yeah, I see. Yeah, yes, yes, Rani. Yes, yes, Sharanya, you are right. Yeah. So all are saying yes, 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 yes. So there are two aspects of effective verbal communication. What to say is one, and another how to say. Right? All of you agree to this? Yes. I see. Yes, yes, yeah, true, 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 true. So people with good interpersonal relations or intelligence, they are also intelligent at verbal communication. They can easily ask some questions or express the information with so much of confidence, right? So we have to understand this is a very important skill which we can use for our growth. They also know how to represent. Now people with this skill, many of you here, they are already having this skill, right? So they represent their words so powerfully that people can easily listen to them, people can easily follow them, people can actually be get possessed with their abilities, with their charm. So all these are important things for effective verbal communication. Now going back to the non-verbal communication part, how we can make it more effective. So that is another skill, which is very important. It's a communication, non-verbal communication, we can make it effective not only by not, it's not about moving your body, or it is not about it is not only about that, it's about using your facial expressions effectively, right? So you might have seen so many line managers, whenever they are in meetings, and whenever there is a kind of very critical issue which is being discussed in the meeting, still they have a very simple expression, very calm, resilient kind of expression on their faces. So this is the non-verbal way of effective communication. Yeah. So I'm going to give a simple example because I like giving simple examples, right? So one is dance, right? So dance is a form, it's a form of art which is full of facial expressions, right? Be it a Bharatnatyam, Indian dance is Bharatnatyam, or be it Kathakali or Kuchipudi or any kind of Indian dance form you say, or any kind of Western dance you see. These are the areas, this is the art wherein it's full of lot of facial expressions. Our body movements will not define it, but also the expressions, right? So people with good verbal communication skills can easily control their body language and spoken words. How many of you have these wow moments here? Yeah. So those who are having good verbal communication skills, they can easily control their body language, and they can easily control their spoken words, so that we get lot of benefits by being verbal, at the same time having the control over our body and our spoken words. So if you see good behavior, it's another skill, or the quality, or the attribute of people who are having good interpersonal skills, right? So behavior represents actually human relations, right? So yeah, yeah, Sandhya, absolutely. So if it is defined as the strategy, any behavior is defined as the strategy in which people communicate with each other. So the good behavior, the good behavior suggests a good effective communication, whereas a bad behavior or unusual behavior can cause distractions. So when somebody is not normal, in their behavior, you can easily understand that there is something which is going inside of that person, and that can be a very important challenge, especially at workplace, or especially when you are in your business or in your personal relationships. So understand the good behavior is one of the interpersonal skill which is liked by everyone. Now if you go back to body language, this is the essential interpersonal skill, because non-verbal aspects of communication, because it uses those non-verbal aspects of communication. Two persons, they represent different body language, for a similar task, like someone just shrug it out, yeah, oh wow, why I should do it, or not even say, oh wow, and somebody will, like, with the body language. So all these expressions, if you see, you know you can see this nod in so many meetings, right? So we always give some unspoken signals during our conversations with each other, right? Or with others. So sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are not aware of this body language, which it comes sometimes very spontaneously, involuntarily, sometimes they are voluntarily. So we have to understand what is the body language, or the impact of the body language on we being perceived at any level in our lives, right? So it includes postures, it includes eye movement, it includes hand movements, it includes facial expressions, it includes voice tone, right? So I'm just putting this here in the way I'm speaking. It is because it is easy for all of you to understand, when I say posture. So if I'm sitting like this and giving this presentation with the drooping shoulders, and if I sit like this and give my this live with the so much of eye contact, so much of hand movement, so much of facial expressions, that this is a very important thing, right? So well, give me 1 second, I just have to go, somebody is there and they need my attention. I'm so extremely sorry for this, yeah. But let's continue with it. And I just want to say that, it includes postures, it includes eye movements, it includes hand movement, it includes facial expressions, it also includes voice note, right? So, for example, moving our legs during the conversation shows that we are not having interest into the person with whom we are conversing, right? So this is one of the important body language can is a very effective non-verbal way of communicating. Yeah. Now going to the being an active listener, this is such a beautiful interpersonal skill which we can develop by just being listen a good listener. So listener includes providing responses and reactions to the other person during a conversation, and that also it is sometimes it is termed as feedback, right? So it's a feedback. Feedback to the speaker makes communication a more active process. So when somebody is listening, when somebody is listening silently or observing what is being done or being heard, that means that it is a good kind of communication which is happening, right? If person are reacting without listening, that means that you cannot take the conversation a bit ahead and make it more fruitful, right? So this kind of listening, sometimes it can be verbal, it can be non-verbal. So some people you will see in meetings or when you are dealing with your clients, they don't have they just listen. They don't even are they are not even verbal. So even being non-verbal is one of non-verbal listener is also one of the important interpersonal skills, and believe me, there are so many leaders who have this kind of quality. Yeah. So the last one, the next one is relationship management, right? So what is it? The relationships are the two-way string. How many of you agree? Yes. Yes, Kavita. Right. Yes. Yes. Yes, Arahana. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes, Cindy. Ah, yeah, true. Very true. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Kimberly, you are perfectly right. Yeah. So we must emotionally be intelligent to understand the relationship and their importance, right? So we are required to set some of the boundaries, as I think I have already cleared in my earlier sessions, to maintain a healthy relationship, right? So setting up the boundaries when we are talking to the near or dear ones, or at the workplace with our line managers, with our subordinates, or with our teams, it is very important that we have to set some of the boundaries so that the relations become healthy and they keep maintain you can maintain them for a longer period of time, for years, right? Now communication using clear words. Now how many of you have observed that lot of the strongest leaders, the top leaders in your organization, they have this very important interpersonal skill. They communicate using clear words. They don't mince the words. They are very crisp and precise in their communication with clear words and very much relevant words, right? So we might not represent our views clearly while using unusual words. So we should restrict that habit of using unusual words when we're conversing with others. The language and the words we use, yeah, I see that. Yeah. So the language and words we use should be clear and precise. Yeah, so someone has written to me, I don't want to name, but my line manager is not a person who really is clear. Yeah, absolutely. So you will see that they are all work in progress, right? So picking hard words from the dictionary and inserting in your presentation, that doesn't mean that we are good in communication, right? So sometimes we have to be very clear and precise what we want to say in the media, or in our presentations, or wherever we put up something on the blog. So we need to first develop communication using simple words, and we should know the meaning of that also, what we are saying, whether we are saying what is there on our mind, or we are just not able to find a perfect word to say what we want. So when such things are there, when such incidences or such situations come in your life, you use simple word. That is my advice to lot of women who are in the growing phases of their career. So I see a lot of people reacting to it. Yes. So speaking even with simple words can create a good impression, because when I was dealing with with a, I don't want to name the organization, but when I was dealing with the company as a consultant, and when I was actually working with some international clients, I saw that people in my team or had lot of technical knowledge, lot of intelligence as far as that project was concerned, and they were willing to give. But sometimes when we represent ourselves, we are not able to converse clearly with the clear simple words, and that was making the thing so hard to the international clients to understand, because everybody had coming from different culture, different background, different communication strategies, different languages. It was so difficult that the simple words, if you use them, they need not be very big words or maybe the best words of the dictionary, but if you use clear and precise and simple words to tell the other person what is there on your mind, it really helps. So this is where that's one part which I want to share. That is where, when I decided, that was a turning point, when I decided that why I want to work more on the soft skills, and why I want to mentor and coach people into these areas. Because even if people are brilliant, they have super brains, they are not able to say what they have to say in meetings, in corporate worlds, or in businesses. They fail to do that because they are not using simple words, right? So the other one is pitch, right? So pitch, I'm touching this because it's defined as a frequency at which the vocal cord of the human vibrates, right? So the pitch determines how we represent our words in a practical, attractive, and easy to understand manner, right? So when our pitch is well learned, we can influence lot of decisions. I'm repeating this: when our pitch is well learned pitch, we can influence lot of business decisions. How many of you agree to this? Yeah, I see so many of you saying yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, Rajesh, you are right, right, Ajit, you are right. So when the pitch is so, it is such a powerful tool which we have, that we have to represent the our pitch in a more practical, more attractive, and easy to understand way. So for example, a low pitch, you know it's for example, a low pitch cannot influence anyone, right? So one has to be come up with a very practical and attractive way of delivering what they have to say. So pitch maintenance is an essential part of effective interpersonal communication. So it should not be like, it should not be that it's not audible to anyone. It has to be audible to everyone. It has to be listened, it has to be heard, right? So while a very high pitch, sometimes people, you might have seen, very high pitch can disturb a lot of people. They might form perception about the speaker. They might form perception about the the team member. So all these things are very important, interpersonal skills. Now emotional intelligence, I'm not going to go much into deep of EQ, because there are so many things which are already available on the internet, and you can go through those and really, work on this emotional intelligence, which is an important part in today's world. So this is the ability to control our own and others' emotions. In short, so other factors such as empathy, motivation, social skills, and self-awareness, they also describe emotional intelligence. So we have to really define all these things in our day-to-day life. We have to practice these skills in our day-to-day life to get more emotional intelligence. Sometimes it is also known as one of the insight which we can have, and the more insight which we have, it builds more of our emotional intelligence. So girls, ladies, women, please see to it that with experiences you get insights. I have covered all these things in my earlier topics, so you can have a lot of insights, and you can develop your emotional intelligence, so that you can use these insights and emotional intelligence together for your phenomenal growth, right? So studies have shown that the people with high EQ generally they have a better job performance, they have better mental health, and they also have good relationship with others. How many of you agree to this? Because I'm not going to go into detail, but I just want to understand, how much is your what is your say on this? Because those people who are really emotionally intelligent, they will have a better job performance because their relationships are good, the way they interact with each other are good, they know how to use all the skills, the interpersonal skills all together for the phenomenal growth of wherever they are working. It is also helpful for your mental health, because when your emotional intelligence is high, it is you are more resilient, you act with so much maturity, and that is really good for your mental health, right? So you don't react to the situation, you respond to the situations, right? So all these things, as I said, emotional awareness also helps us to understand better, better the people we are communicating with, right? So these are all important things. Now there are some interpersonal barriers which come to picture now, right? So these, what are these? We need to identify them, right? If I'm going a little bit fast, I know I'm having less time because there is so much to deliver. So I apologize to Ganga, right? I'm so sorry. Gomati, I'm absolutely very sorry, but I have to move fast. And if you have any kind of questions, please get in touch with me, and I will be happy to answer all your queries and concerns, my dear. Okay, so let's go to the interpersonal barriers, right? So these are present outside the individual, and they can affect the communication around us, and it may also occur when any candidate they lack sensitivity or confidence. So I can give some of the interpersonal barriers, examples of or the traits of interpersonal barriers. The lack of desire to explore, the then unusual medium of communication, or there is a lack of participation when you are conversing or when you are interacting. Then there is a attitude barrier. Some people are having a lot of ego issues, that they get angry very easily, or they get sad very easily, or they show their emotions very vibrantly, openly. There are some kind of cultural barriers also, because people coming from, as I said earlier, people coming from different cultures, they may not be open for the communication, they may not interact with the way you want them to interact with you. So all this, then there are language barriers, because India has so many languages. You can see the language barriers can come straight away because of the change, difference in the language of the people, right? So because this gives me one one thing which I can share with you. I was deputed at Vizag for one of my assignment, and I'm born and brought up in Mumbai. So when I went to Vizag, so there the people normally see the Tulu and Telugu, right? Which is their language of the state, right? So when I went there, I was like a kind of a person who was actually exploring a lot of non-verbal communication with my body language, movement, and expression. So I remember that I know that people can talk to each other by building up lot of ways of interpersonal communications, right? So I had used my body language, my body movements, my facial expressions to communicate with the local guys there, and eventually I understood that at the workplace I was very comfortable with English, but when I was moving out and in the social places, it was difficult for me to converse with the language, Telugu language. So I started using facial expression, and somehow I could go. And then when I felt comfortable, I used to ask the person, "Do you know this language?" And then I used to go with Hindi and English. So a lot of things which we can learn, because if we are interpersonally, we are very intellectual, we can really do this, right? Now, there are some barriers, as I told you, lack of desire to explore. So some individuals, they have no interest in exploring ideas of others, opinions of others, views. So that can create a communication barrier. So sometimes it also becomes frustrating to others, right? Because people get frustrated when they don't get when they don't see that there is no interest in exploring the ideas or exchanging the opinions or views, or right. So some people, there is a lack of option. It is not easy to communicate with a person who is not interested. You will see that during a kind of a family get together, or during a kind of a meeting with your clients, you will see that some people are not interested in talking. So this can considered as a significant barrier to interpersonal communication, because that can build a kind of rift, or a different perception about that person, right? So cultural barriers, as I indicated earlier, religions, caste, or color, or this, or at any level in society, we see all these kind of things, and we see that there are so many cultural barriers which are not good for interpersonal relationship development, right? So unusual medium. Now, this is the selection of the channel determines effective communication. Sometimes where we have to use text, we try calling, and where we have to use email, we try to send out messages, right? So sometimes when we don't have to go face to face, we really make effort to go to face to face. So all these things can these are the unusual medium. If they are explored and they are explored ineffectively, that can really be a setback for interpersonal relationships, right? Now, attitude barriers. So there are various people on this planet who have got different kind of attitudes, and we have to go with these attitudes, because we cannot actually ignore these people who come into our life and they have different kind of attitudes. So that is a learning process. That is the learning process for every woman, for every person on this planet, that you have to deal with people who are having different attitudes and they are not similar than you there, right? So we have to see to it then how easily we can accommodate other people in our lives, right? So language barrier, as I've covered it, that can create a barrier when we really don't understand our words, our signs, or our expressions, what impact they have on other person. Now, how we can develop these interpersonal skills? Now, this can be developed so easily, my sweet friends, that you have to really take some of the important steps. You have to create a positive outlook, right? So it means creating a positive attitude towards life, as well as in general, as well as to the situations of self or the people around us, right? So we have to see every positive opportunity in every situation, because a positive person with a positive attitude filters the best in the worst situation. How many wow moments here? Yeah, I see. Yes, this is very, very essential, because a person with a positive attitude, I tell you, he can make the best out of the worst situation because of his attitude, right? Because of her attitude, she can give the best to the organization. She can, take out, salvage the entire project and come up with the new project, and that goes with online with the, I'm just giving one example, that she can do lot of things with the positive attitude. A woman, especially women, they always have a positive side to look at everything, so they don't get nervous very easily. They try to find out solution. They have this quality which is inherited from their ancestors for years and years. So if you see your mothers, your grandmothers, your great grandmothers, you always see that they always had this positive way of looking at the situation and coming out with solutions, right? So the second one which I want to control, share, is have a control over the emotions. We women, we have a very good tendency that we show our emotions very easily at workplace, right? Sometimes it is excess excitement, sometimes it is happiness, sometimes it is sadness. So these can adversely affect our communication. People can take us easily as granted. Sometimes when we are so excited with in our team or at our place, people know she is always excited, so she's not going to say no about it, right? To any of the things which you really don't know, want to say no to it, but because of your expressions always, that is over excitement, people do take it in this way, that they it's a yes from your side. So it is also defined as the ability to understand the emotions and feelings of other people around us, right? So we have to have some kind of mechanism built inside us, so that we show our emotions with lot of maturity. I'm not saying that we should not be natural, but at the same time, at workplace or wherever, when you are discussing a very important business proposal, or you are in a board meeting, or you are with a with somebody who's a old relative and hospitalized, you have to use your emotions very carefully, because that can have a very important, very huge impact on the people who are with whom you are interacting. So having said this, I want to give one example of one of my real time one of my real time experience which I want to give. That I had this my one of my very close relatives. She was not well, and doctor had lost all the hopes, right? So instead of me, when I came to know about it, and when I was in my visit to the hospital where she was put in, and I had to really take a lot of efforts to control my emotions, to control my sadness, and to control me. And me being a very positive person, I went with the visit, and I just shared a beautiful story to that person, a very positive story to that relative. And she told me at the end of, when I was leaving, I'm so inspired, I'm feeling so safe, I'm feeling so secure. So sometimes you have to really take control of your emotions, right? So you have to be very confident also. Being some people you might see, they don't have that much confidence, and because they don't stand for their values, right? So when you don't stand for your values, you are less confident. So confidence in our ideas, confidence in our views, they attract attention of the people. So always see to it that whenever you are putting your idea, whenever you are putting your views, you have to give them with so much of confidence, with that self confidence should be there on your face or in your body language, so that people really understand what you are trying to communicate or convey to them, right? So that becomes a very fruitful kind of discussion. Now help everyone. Now we should always try to put ourselves first, but you can also help everyone around you. So it creates a lot of empathy for others. So you see lot of top leaders, Ratan Tata ji for that matter, you see lot of empathy, you relate to him with empathy, right? Empathy and Ratan Tata ji, they go hand in hand. If you see Sudha Murthy ji, if you see a lot of empathy, lot of concern about the well-being of others. That is always the expression. And so when you are in that mode, you see Mother Teresa, you see a lot of people who help for charity. You see that empathy is one of the language which they speak by helping everyone around them, right? So it will also create a positive environment around us, and which can also boost our confidence and our performance. So focus on communication skills, right? So during the conversation, I have seen lot of people, you have to maintain trust, you have to maintain rapport, you have to maintain respect, you have to maintain lot of eye to eye contact when you are actually in a team meeting, when you have to be active listener. So you have to focus on your communication skills, how you can develop them, right? So that a good understanding of the audience, for example, for you all are my audience today, and I have to really make conscious effort so that my communication skills are good, and whatever I want to say, they are reaching to you, right? So managing people around us is another thing. Sometimes we are required to deal with very rude and arrogant persons in any of the organization, right? At business meetings or anywhere, so a lot of comments coming in, and I'm very happy that I'm seeing all those comments. This gives me energy that yes, you all are actively listening to me, right? So yeah, arguing, yeah, somebody is saying arguing or fighting for petty matters. Yeah, this is not an intelligent way in such situations, right? So whenever you want to manage people who are around you, when you are a line manager to so many team members, when you are actually having a business completely set up and you are interacting with so many clients, vendors, suppliers, your customers, you have to deal with these rude and arrogant people, right? But the key to effective communication or interpersonal communication is that we have to be very calm and assertive, right? We have to be very resilient, we have to be very calm, we have to be very assertive. We don't have to be aggressive, we can be assertive, and at the same time we can get the things done, right? and we can manage them. So unresolved conflicts not only disrupt our work, but they can also affect our productivity. So how many moments here, how many aha moments here, yeah. Yeah, so unresolved conflicts can really affect our productivity. The intelligent way to deal, examine the situation. Yes, I see that. And the intelligent way to deal with the communicate with such kind of situation is to find a solution and resolve those things, right? Now, there I in my career I have seen a lot of women, they don't stand for themselves, right? So why it is so, I haven't understood. But whenever I got opportunity, I always made each one of my these beautiful friends to stand for themselves. This is a very important thing when you are on the path of developing your interpersonal skills. So we should always stand for what we believe. We should always stand for what we believe in, right? We should know to stand for our choices. We should know to stand for our decisions, our opinions, our views, our values, right? So if that is not there, then obviously the things will not move, right? We should always try to talk politely and friendly with our colleagues, with our teammates, with our line managers. But at the same time, we should always have our own way of standing for our choices, decisions, values, opinions. So remember, girls and women here who are attending this session, there is always a way to stand for yourself. You have to learn that quickly. You have to stand for your choices. There is no need to feel guilty. There is no need to get scared about your decisions. There is no need to get ashamed if you are giving your opinion on certain specific taboo topic. It's not about that. It is about how you can say this. It is not about what you are saying there. It is about how you are saying, because then when you stand out for yourself, people do believe in you. Yeah. So avoid interrupting others, right? So when I have seen a very uh, not a good quality, but I have seen a lot of people, they interrupt when somebody is speaking. This is a very disrespectful kind of behavior. We can interrupt by requesting that person. For example, we can say, can I please interrupt? We can always say, if you don't mind, sorry to interrupt. Or these are so many, right? But it was urgent. You can always say, sorry to interrupt you at this stage, but it was so urgent. You can always say that, can I please add something to your discussion? If you really want to sound more productive and more positive, you can always say that I want to add something to your discussion, and so on. So there are ways how we can interrupt others. But the thumb rule is, let the person finish the conversation and then you give your opinion. But even if you have to interrupt, there are ways to interrupt, politely. Now reduce the physical barriers. Now these can cause distraction between the communications and make others uncomfortable. So we should always try to make the interpersonal communication process more comfortable. So we avoid physical barriers. Some people have the habit of, they are glaring with the book on their, with the book holding like this, and then they are talking to others. I have seen, classically, all Hindi movies, you will see that the husband is having this paper in his hand, and then wife is trying to tell him something, about the day, and he is not listening. You can see a lot of people who are, in the offices, they are just looking at their mobile and they are talking to you. Or you can see a lot of people in the business meetings also, they are looking at their laptops and they are not even seeing or looking at the face of the speaker, or not having any eye to eye contact. So these physical barriers, they that can be very very disturbing things for speakers, right? Now avoid distraction. This is one of the things. During any conversation, we should not concentrate on the people passing by or people talking around us. We should always talk to each other, right? Try to avoid this distraction as much as possible, right? Now show the speaker that you are listening. So how? So when you are at a business meeting, when you are going for a project review meeting, you always have to see that, you have to show to the speaker that you are listening, right? So sometimes say, yeah, oh, wow. We can also prompt such kind of, the expressions. So that's very much essential, because then person knows that he is being heard. Yeah, you can also smile in between sometimes during the meeting, or you can add a sense of humor in between, to make the person more comfortable while conversing, right? Or having the that kind of particular session. So coming to entrepreneurial interpersonal skills, why they are important, right? So this is also one of the interest area for many of you who are there attending this session. So as an entrepreneur, you will likely to work very closely with each other. So it is essential that you are able to build good relationship with your team, customers, suppliers, shareholders, investors, or any other kind of stakeholders, right? Some people are more gifted in this area, because I have seen lot of entrepreneurs, lot lot of entrepreneurs, they are having one best of the interpersonal skills. I don't know why, but in fact I have not seen the data also, but I have observed that lot of entrepreneurs, they are gifted with these interpersonal skills. But yes, nevertheless, those who are not having here, they can learn and improve on these skills, right? So, you know, leadership and motivation. Can you lead and motivate others to follow you and deliver your vision? I'm especially asking for the those who are entrepreneurs here. Yeah. So I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Yes. 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 So if you are a leader, if you are a leader in your business or in your entrepreneurial venture, you know that you have to have that quality of leadership. If you are motivated, then and if you can lead, then only you can deliver your vision, right? You can deliver your business. And if you are you able to delegate work to others, right? So as an entrepreneur, you will have to depend on others to get beyond the early stages of your business. So there is just too much to do by yourself, right? So you have to delegate. Now, some of the important skills which entrepreneurs they need to develop, interpersonal skills, are one of them is communication skills. So, are you skilled at all types of communications? It can be any kind of communication, right? So, it can be including your investors, it can be potential clients, it can be team members. I have seen lot of today's entrepreneurs. They are really smart, so they don't have to have different types of communicators within their organization. They can talk to investors, they can talk to potential client, they can take care of business development. But there are few who are having lot of intelligence to do that business, but they don't have these qualities, communication skills. So it is essential for all entrepreneurs to develop this skill. Now listening is another, as I have covered it earlier, but I just want to say for entrepreneurs, do you hear what others are trying to tell you, right? So this is very important. Your customer feedback, your customers, verbal, non-verbal, on website, off website, or via text, they are giving you some kind of feedback. So are you an active listener in your business? Right? So your ability to listen and absorb that information and opinions and use it for your growth, that can really be a change in your strategy, right? That can break your business or can make your business. So always understand, whenever you are in business, you are an entrepreneur, you always have to ask yourself whether you are an active listener, whether you understand what kind of feedback, what kind of, are you taking any feedback as criticism and not actually working on that as a feedback. So all these things are very important. So make sure that you are skilled and active and empathetic listening, right? Because people, I have seen that most of the entrepreneurs coming to me and telling me, ma'am, we are getting on website lot of comments, but we don't understand what is going on. So be empathetic, try to understand the meaning coming from their comments, try to understand what are they trying to tell you. Be empathetic, be understanding, be active in your listening, and that can give you lot of feedback which you can use for your growth for your business growth, right? Now, personal relationship. This is also one of the important aspect for entrepreneurs, because they should have good people skills, right? Are they self aware? Are they good at regulating your emotions? All these things. They are very important, because if you are able to give react positively to the feedback or to the criticism, as I covered earlier, emotional intelligence offers a range of strategies for developing these crucial attributes. So that's the reason I was stressing earlier that why emotional intelligence is very important, be it a workplace, be it a business, right? So another thing which I want to cover is negotiation. So this is a very important kind of interpersonal skill which any entrepreneur must have. So, are you a strong negotiator? Find out that not only do you need to negotiate for favorable prices, but you also need to resolve differences between people in a positive and mutually beneficial way. So, this is a very important aspect, that you should have good negotiation skills, not only on in terms of numbers or money or any kind of prices, but it is also about resolving the conflicts, coming on the same page, taking the united decisions. All these things are very important, because negotiation can actually work in both ways. It can actually break or make your business. Now, ethics. Do you deal with the people based on respect, integrity, how you treat your customers? Are you fair to your customers? Do you take their are they trustworthy? Do you treat them as if they are trustworthy, your business partners, your customers? Can you lead ethically? So, all these questions, if you ask to yourself, then that can help you to build a happy, productive business, right? So if you with your staff, with your customers or suppliers, just imagine in a shabby way, then you will be perceived as if you are non-ethical, right? So, having said this, now interpersonal skills are sometimes called employability skills. Now I'm going back to the workplace area, where these are very important things, right? So that's crucial. When the hiring managers, they really don't want to hire candidates without them. That is the truth. That is the real truth, which is nowadays. So many careers, they require consistent, they require consistent, if not constant, interaction with other people. How many of you, you all know those who are coming from the sales background, be it software engineer, writer? Yeah, Prithvi, you are saying right. Yeah, 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 Pratnya. Absolutely, absolutely, Rajita. Yeah. So a lot of you are from different areas, coming from different areas, right? So I different professions. So I see that interaction is inevitable, right? So when you are doing this, just see to it how you satisfactorily collaborate and communicate with your team, with your people, right? So communication is one of the important area, whether you work in IT, customer service, construction, or any other industry, you will need to communicate very clearly and effectively with others, both verbally as well as in writing. Those who are in government jobs here, they do understand, what how much important, uh, how much it is important to effectively communicate, because you are in customer facing roles in your government organizations, and how you deal with them, that really creates the impression about your function also. So some jobs, they also require effective public speaking. So you might have seen a lot of people, government IS officers, they speak in the public forum. So these are some of the examples, like non-verbal communication, public speaking, verbal communication. So people working in these areas, they really need to be very specific, clear, and in all the communication channels. Conflict management at workplace. So this is where you are a manager, whether you are a manager or an employee, you will likely need to resolve the conflicts at some point in your job, right? How many of you are saying yes? I see. Yeah, I see. I see. I see. Yeah, 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 yeah. So that may involve solving an issue between two staff members, between yourself and your colleague, or with your line manager, with your client or your company. So you need to be able to listen fairly both the sides and resolve the conflict as early as possible, because if that remains for a long period of time, it can build lot of things internally, right, within the organization. So that's the reason, in a lot of companies they have nowadays counselors, they have mediating people who can resolve the problem. So and there is one aspect again which I want to cover is about empathy, right? So part of being a good manager, employee or colleague is the ability to understand and show empathy to others. If a customer or a colleague calls with a complaint, for example, then you need to listen thoughtfully. You need not react immediately. You have to understand person's concerns. You have to express compassion for their issue, and you have to come up with a solution. So you have to be caring, you have to be full of compassion sometimes. You have to actually use diplomacy in certain cases. Also diversity. You have to help others. You have to show kindness to their needs. You have to be patient with their learning processes. You have to respect the opinion of your teammates. You have to be very sensitive to some of the people who are not challenged, who are physically challenged in your organization. You have to show sympathy when somebody is not well in the organization or hospital, as you have to make visits. So all these are the examples of empathy. Now leadership is another aspect which is a very important skill. So even if you are not a manager, it is important to have some leadership experience and ability. So I encourage most of the women who are there attending my session that you need to really experience leadership in, and you have to actually show your ability that you can lead. So leadership requires being able to motivate and encourage others and help the team to achieve success. So even if you are a team member, by showing the leadership quality, by showing your leadership ability, you can always work with other team members, other stakeholders in your organization, so that you complete the task or the project successfully. And that comes out, the conclusion which comes out after completion of such projects, that you are a able leader. You are the prospective leader in the area, right? So some of the attributes which I can say about this is encouraging. You can keep on encouraging. You can inspiring with trust. You can be instructing with polite ways. You can manage your time well. You can manage your communication well. You can mentor others who are below you. You can motivate people who are your subordinates. You can create a positive reinforcement within your organization. So these are some of the examples. There is another one which I will touch base just here is about listening. It's a skill that goes hand in hand with the good communication. So when you need to be able to express your own ideas, your own proposals, you also need to be thoughtfully listen to the ideas of others. So when you do that, people are more receptive when you actually put up your ideas. So how many of you agree to this? Yeah. So a lot of people are saying yes to it, obviously. So that will help your clients, your employers, your colleagues, your employees will feel respected and valued, right? So this you can do by actively listening, by showing your curiosity when people are discussing their proposals. When you can focus when somebody is presenting a very important project review. You can inquire if you have certain kind of questions, that you are actively listening. If you have some kind of worries that within the meeting also, if your function is not doing well, but you have an inquiry, or you have a kind of concern that how your team can do better by collaborating with the other team, you inquire. That shows that you are listening. You can negotiate when you are in a discussion, and when you are actively listening, you can negotiate in a better way your deals, right? So negotiation is another important skill for many positions. Now, depending on the specific job, it might involve creating formal agreements, right? Like you might be seeing those who are coming from the they are advocates, they are coming from the lawyer background, so they might know that you have to make a lot of agreements or contract agreements with your clients, and or helping the colleagues to solve the problem or to determine a solution to a very critical scientific project. So all these are negotiation skills which can take you a long way for completing that particular task or project. So right, so you can arrive at the outcome that satisfies everyone. So this is the very important skill which all interpersonal skill which all should have. Now positive attitude is a behavioral trait, but you can acquire it. They because people with the positive attitude, they are actually perceived, they are welcomed in the organization. Their presence makes lot of difference in business meetings, and they can give lot of solutions to the certain specific areas, or they can actually be the change agents within the organization. So it is very, because they can develop a rapport very easily with others, so they are considered as change agents within the organization. I have seen lot of change agents which are appointed during the layoff period, or when there is a transition happening within the organization, or there is some acquire the organization is getting acquired by some other company. Or so these are very important this is a very important skill, positive attitude. So examples are behavioral skills, or developing rapport or friendliness. Or these people, they also have positive attitude people, they also have a sense of humor, so they can lighten the critical situation. They are very good at networking and social skills. So again, the last one which I want to say is teamwork. So even if your job involves a lot of independent work, because I have seen a lot of organizations, typically the project management managers, they are the independent leaders, right? So they work very independently, they don't have any reporters to them. Sometimes they get all the work done from their stakeholders. So all these people, they need to collaborate very well with others. So teamwork involves several of skills already mentioned. They're already mentioned. You need to be able to listen to others, communicate your own goals, motivate these teams, these stakeholders, and resolve any conflicts between these two between different stakeholders. So collaborating, group facilitating, or team building, teamwork, all these are essential things which any person who has good interpersonal skill can do, right? So some important tips, how to make your skills stand out, your interpersonal skills stand out. So some important tips: show, don't tell. So this is one tip which I want to give to all of you. Whether you are interviewing for a new job or you're looking for a promotion, be sure to use your interpersonal skills to make a good impression. Okay. Okay, the other one is brush up your skills. So if your skills need some improving, you know or your confidence could use a boost. I'm just giving one example. There are so many online and offline courses which are available, so you can brush up your skills. You can actually learn something new. You know that these skills are going to give you next promotion or next business. You brush up your skills before going for such kind of important business meeting. You brush up your skills. You go online or offline, search a lot of things, attend some seminars, so that you are ready for the next things. So be nice. This is another tip which I want to give. Be nice. So this is one of the important tip, one of the best ways to show that you have got strong interpersonal skills is to remain calm and civil even in the situations which are stressful. This is very, very important, because when you are resilient, when you are calm, when you are civil, you know, then you are perceived as a mature leader, right? So always be nice to people, always be polite, always be humble, but at the same time be always clear and precise in your communication. This is a very important tip, wherein you can remain calm and civil without losing your temper in all stressful situations. Women, This is a very important quality which we can acquire, which we can develop for our growth, right? Our exponential growth. Now, having said this, I'm going to conclude the session with some of the quotes which I always like to share with all of you. So, there is a very beautiful quote coming from Tony Robbins. He has said that to effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world, and use this understanding as a guide to our communication with others. Very important, isn't it? Very important. Yeah, I see a lot of comments in the inbox. Yes, so if you have to effectively communicate, we also have to understand that there is a world with a different perception about us, and that is why when we are communicating, we have to use that understanding as a guide to communicate with them, right? So there is second one, which is a very another beautiful quote. It is from Oprah Winfrey. So it says the only way to end the war in communication between people is communication between the people. So understand this, a very important quote which says that if you want to win negotiation, as I said, is one of the area, but negotiating in a very peaceful way, in a very strategic way, it's an art. It's an art to end the war, to end the conflicts within the organization, in the business areas, or in your interpersonal relationships, right? So the last there are three more, but I just want to quickly take you through Sudha Murthy's. She said mindset has more power than anything else in the world. So if you have a positive mindset, you always have a positive attitude. So when it's there, then that is the powerhouse, right? And you can use it phenomenally for your growth, right? There is another one which is from Robin Sharma. He says the deeper your relationship with others, the more effective will be your leadership. People will not follow you if they don't trust you. And before someone will lend you a hand, you must first touch their heart. Lot of wow moments here, aha moments, right? So Robin has said it so beautifully that if you want to lend your hand to somebody, you first should touch their heart, right? People will follow you only if they trust you. And if you want to be a leader, your relationship with others has to be deeper, right? So understand this. There is tremendous scope for networking with others. There is tremendous scope for giving people opportunities to trust you as a leader. There are enough opportunities in this world when you can touch hearts of people, so that they can trust you, right? So before you give any support to others, they always should come to you first, because you have touched their hearts, right? So, having said this, now I'm going to take one more, which is about one person can make a difference and everyone should try. This is from John Kennedy, right? So, if you are that person, if you can make that difference, then I think if you are that person, you can change the world. I think everyone will follow you, and they in turn can change the world, right? So if this world, you want it to be a beautiful place, be it your workplace, be it your life, be it your business, if you really want to get that success in all areas of life, one person can make a difference, and that's you. So when you make the difference to yourself and to others' life, remember, ladies, that everyone will follow you. So always remember this, because social people, they have the social responsibility, and successful people, for that matter, people who are very successful, they always have a social responsibility to make the world a better place to live. And they just don't take it from it, they also give it to it. So always remember this. And having said this, I'm signing off. So I want each one of you to build on these interpersonal skills, be a better human being, be a social person who can make difference in others' lives. So having said this, I'm signing off. If you have any queries, because I see a lot of comments in the inbox, if you have those queries, please write to me on enduringgenesis@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me on my WhatsApp number, that is 9833381769. You can talk to me anytime, and you can also text me on the Facebook Messenger with on my page, Enduring Genesis. So having said this, I'm signing off. Tomorrow I'm going to come up with another exciting topic. So stay connected and let's rock together. All women, I'm wishing you all a very happy learning for interpersonal skills. Love you and bye bye.